Welcome, honored guests. It's so lovely to have all of you here for the exciting moment of Richard Sanchez's final oral defense. And his study was on the use of technology to train life support skills to medical practitioners. And I'm the chair, Michelle Warren, and the committee member is Dr. Kristen Ballard. Welcome. And we also have with us Dr. Kelly Olson Stewart and Dr. Michelle Rossers Majors, which is so fantastic to have them here. It's quite an honor. And so this will go about 30 minutes, 35 minute presentation. Richard has a lot to present of really important information. And then after that, Dr. Ballard and I will break away for a discussion and come back with our final decision. Okay, so Richard, are you ready?
I am waiting.
All right, here we go.
So good afternoon, respected chair, committee members, and guests. Thank you for the opportunity and allowing me to present my research and my findings. My name is Richard Sanchez. I'm a doctoral student in education at the University of Arizona Global Campus. I'm here to present um, a technology augmented learning platform focusing on the use of technology to train life support skills to medical practitioners. A little bit about my background. I am a retired chief respiratory therapist with 30 years of experience. My interest is in addressing diverse learning needs and promoting equitable access to training through the technology. The background of the research: by the year 2030, according to the World Health Organization, there will be a shortage of about 11 million healthcare practitioners, highlighting the need for scalable, efficient training models to address this concern. This is related to human patients, introducing ethical and practical constraints. The program is the basic life support and advanced cardiovascular life support, referred to as BLS and ACLS, which cannot be practiced safely on healthy individuals. A solution is to use a safe and controlled learning environment using this technology, enabling practice of high-stake procedures without risk to the real patients. The BLS and ACLS uses a platform called the Resuscitation Quality Improvement, referred to as RQI system, but it's the learning platform, which adheres to the American Heart Association standard. With high fidelity mannequin technology, embedded sensors that measures compressions, depth, and hand positions, real-time feedback, which can be presented visually, and you can also hear it. The rooms are presented with multiple stations. This session can be completed within 1 hour. Among the challenges of the technology for the statement of the problem, we have the cost of purchasing and maintenance of the technology, difficulties in providing authentic hands-on kinesthetic experiences that mimic human subjects. Many medical training programs that use technology face challenges with the maintenance of the technology and designing curriculum that can actually maximize this sophisticated hands-on and cognitive skills. The specific problem is that the simulated BLS and ACLS, through the use of the RQI learning platform training program that uses mannequin technology, may present learners with challenges that interfere with their ability of acquiring these sophisticated skills. needed to address life-threatening emergencies with a live patient. Also, we need to include that malfunction of equipment can interfere with the learning process. The purpose of the study is to examine healthcare learners' perspectives on technology augmented BLS and ACLS training using the RQI platform, to explore learners' perceptive benefits and challenges of this learning platform, and to examine the ability of transferring this skill to real human subjects. The importance of this study is that addresses the gap by examining how technology-driven simulation platforms, specifically the RKI learning platform, informs health organizations, practitioners, and trainers about the practical use of simulation technology in the medical education, providing guidance of its effectiveness, ways to implement simulation technology into training settings. But it also reveals challenges in using this technology that might interfere with the learning outcomes. The research question which guided this study, this qualitative study, um, offers, as after completing the BLS and ACLS training using the RQI learning platform and Mannequin, what are learners' perception on that training? Three sub-questions emerged from that original question, and it's in regards to the learner's perception about the benefits, challenges, and the application of these skills to real human subjects. The methodology is a qualitative case study design um, that emphasizes the meaning, context, and real world perception. The case study allowed me to explore the experiences of a specific group in the Southern Veteran Affairs Hospital on the metropolitan area, allowing me to examine real world clinical experiences of health care practitioners within this organization. The participants we recruited, we send an invitation to recruit participants, and we managed to get 12 participants that met the criteria of being employed by the VA hospital, and they completed the RQI learning platform within the 3 months of the research. In addition to that, we thought to include 4 trainers that have that are currently employed by the VA hospital and have taught that class through their RQI in the past 3 months. The trainers provided depth experience and helped me with the data to develop a triangulation. This chart that is presented is in regards to the 12 learners. One thing that I need to point out is that there is a 2/3 of participants have 10 years or more of experience. What is more interesting is the preference of independent versus trainer present. And it's split right in half. Half of them don't mind doing it alone, and half of them would like to have an instructor present. And in addition to that, is the years of using this learning platform. It fluctuates between 2 to 10 years on all participants. The recruitment of the 4 healthcare trainers with the characteristics of being working in the VA hospital is that they brought to the table knowledge and experience. Um, I need to point out that there's a lot of experience here, 20 years to 35 years. and then the amount of years using that same platform, which helped me develop the triangulation strategy because they provided a secondary perspective, strengthening their credibility and the cross validation of the learners. The process of collecting the data, I utilize an open-end interview through Zoom and then transcribed it. The analysis process used a six-step thematic analysis by Bront and Clark. And I started by reading each of the transcripts, identifying quotes. I read it so many times over and over again that it sounds crazy, but I really was able to identify the quote and which participants said it. So after I did that, I started to generate different codes to represent actions. In addition to that, I added colors to a spreadsheet. So each action had a color, and the words that represent that particular action had the same color. Searching for themes and codes, organizing the information into overarching themes and sub themes. Then I reviewed the information and the themes that are aligned with the data set, ultimately naming and defining the themes to develop a report. The conceptual framework, I utilize two different theories. The first one is the model learning theory by Fitz and Posner. It has three different stages. The cognitive stage, which is the understanding of the protocol by the learners. The second stage is the associate stage, which is the refining of their techniques through repetition. And the final stage is the autonomous stage, which is skill of performing, applying what they learn and being able to achieve their task automatically without thinking. The second conceptual framework is the unified theory of accepting and use of technology, known as UTOT. It has four different aspects: the performance expectancy, which are the benefits that the learners see on the use of this particular technology. The efforts expectancy is the ease or difficulty of use. The social influence, which is kind of confusing because it's about someone telling you about a technology and then influencing your decision on using that particular technology. And finally, facilitating conditions, which is relevant to the appropriateness of the technology and its support. On the findings,
I want to interrupt, and I fully apologize, Richard. We skipped a slide that I want to go back to, and this is a good point to go back to it. And it's where you describe the three types of curriculum. And I think
yes,
we need that information before we go forward with the findings. And
yes.
forgive me, so I'm going to jump back. Hold on, I'm going to jump back to that slide. And you can go ahead and tell us about the training
Oh,
format.
there it is.
Right. Sorry about
Yes.
that.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I apologize. Um, so the RQI learning platform in this case study um, employs key healthcare practitioners that must complete and pass the American Heart Association certificate within 3 months. So now the frequency is 3 months. Um, Three formats emerge from this research: self-guided independent learning, which includes a night shifts; instructor-led classrooms, which is a room with 5 stations and is one person per station; and the cold blue simulation, which is done about once a month throughout the whole hospital. And it's conducted in the hospital in various locations, anywhere. It's a team-based practice. It can have up to 11 people in there. And they start by announcing it in overhead paging through a PA system, which is a paging system. So all the participants of the team or the co team need to act and behave and respond to it as it was a real code. They don't know that this is a mannequin. They don't know if this is a practice. They have to attend to it while the trainers will observe and guide the learners through the process of the code blue.
Okay, thank you, everybody, for your patience on that, and I hope that helps. Okay, so now we'll go back to the findings. Okay.
So 5 different themes emerged from this research with their sub themes, which I will be discussing in the next few slides. The curriculum and an environment addresses the learner's experience with the design and support their ability to perform BLS and ACLS skills necessary for life support. 2 curriculum models addressing the same learning, platform independence, both guided and in the classrooms. And that one is the learners will be doing it by themselves, interacting with the mannequin and receiving feedback. While the other one is the hospital-based code scenario, which is throughout the whole hospital, and it can be anywhere to an emergency. 3 sub-themes emerge from this curriculum and environment. System feedback, independent versus team training, and the environment. The RQI system feedback addresses the technical performance and practical application of their skills. Learners appreciated the visual and audio section of the mannequin because it allowed them to be guided to do the correct maneuvers, while in the room that can hold up to 5 stations presented some challenges because it can be crowded and it can be distracted and they might not be able to focus on doing their job. Which will take me to the last sub-theme, which is self-guided versus team. A combination of both approaches is the most effective way of doing the training. Self-guided focuses on the skills of the learner, while doing the team exercise will focus on the interaction among all team members. The good thing about this one is that you don't know if when they do the overhead paging for the code blue, that the learners or practitioners are actually doing a practice or is a real patient. They're expected to adhere to the American Heart Association standards and to behave and treat the patient as if it was a real patient. Like expressed by learner 3, you don't know that is a mock code refers to a simulation code until you get there. And then you have different emotions going on. You have the adrenaline, you have anxiety, and there's a lot of people in that room, and that makes it even the stress level very high. And that was the consensus among learners. The second theme is the equipment reliability. The learners experience some, when it comes to using the technology, the ease of use and the authenticity. More specifically, they will The learners experience with the challenges posed by the technology, such as the failure of the technology or the limitations on mimicking the human physiology when it comes to utilizing a mannequin. The RQI system has technology limitations which reduce the effectiveness and reliability as a clinical training tool. Faulty parts led to the inability to sense tracking the depth on which we're doing compressions and repeated issues with logging into the system. Learners express that some of the equipment have holes and you cannot get a seal to ventilate patients, which presented a limitation for them and frustration. There were frustration and also created anxiety. The role of the trainer is very important in my opinion, that research. Um, Got it because they guide learners to develop the skills and of course they help with the confidence and they foster open communication channels and they tell them for clear roles and tasks and then how to work under pressure. The trainers were key elements in high quality learning experiences, which generate two sub-themes generated from there, which is teamwork and addressing the misconceptions, the learner's misconception. The teamwork, um, the trainers help develop a clear communication defining the clinical roles, which guided each member involved during the emergency and the scenario. One of the trainers denoted the importance of looking for a team who is doing what, who is going where, and who is in charge. So those are things that are important for the training process to identify before you get to a real human. Learners insisted and the technique was correct, but the equipment was not working appropriately and it was faulty, which trainers need to address learners' misconceptions. Um, One of the learners said that the computer was not connected to the mannequin and it wasn't working properly. Trainers expressed that their technique was actually not correct. They contested that the equipment was operational, but the learning technique was incorrect, which is a major finding and a perfect example of the power of triangulation of data. Peer interaction promoted meaningfulness of the learners through mutual observation, feedback, and corrections. Learners reported appreciation when the peers were observing and correcting, were they're correcting them. While the hospital scenarios, the simulation could offer opportunities to practice emergency interventions as a team. The learners collaborate with each other during the RQI training, which fosters a strong sense of sharing responsibilities and mastering a life support skill. In a cold blue simulation, learners rely on each other to coordinate tasks such as compressions and ventilation. And a learner expressed, and a quote from a learner, that in a team, everybody's assigned a different situation, and then you rotate between ventilation and compressions. One takes one position, then they switch positions. Hands-on learning. The learning consistency emphasizes that frequency hands-on practice is essential for emergency preparedness. Repetition was described as a critical build of muscle memories, improving compression accuracy and reinforcing the neural pathways necessary for effective performance. Three sub themes emerge from there: repetition of practice, developing of kinesthetic memory, and simulation versus clinical practice. Repetitive practice, I think, was my first core finding. The consensus among learners was that the frequency in which you train actually improve your hands-on skills, increasing your confidence during life support interventions. The development of kinesthetic memory or muscle memory is a physical activity that creates strong neural pathways related to learning material. Kinesthetic learning relies on the body awareness of the position, movement, and action. Simulation versus practice. The mannequin does not fully replicate the human subject, which is our second core finding. Learners express a deep concern of the potential rib fractures during the BLS and ACLS emergency protocol. I'm going to take a little bit into this one because this is kind of the core of the result of the training. When you're doing chest compressions and a human subject, the placements of your hands are very important. So when you push the chest down, imagine popcorn underneath your hands, and that popcorn starts cracking. Well, actually, you're cracking the ribs. And when the sound is louder, you're cracking the sternum. And those are the concerns that some of the learners have when it comes to comparing the simulation mannequin to the clinical practice. One learner expressed that when they were doing the compressions, it feel very odd and weird when it happens. The last thing a learner wants to do is to harm somebody during an emergency. It's important to also note that the recuperation time after you create this type of injuries is not only painful and lengthy, of course, if the patient survives, uh, and it's very challenging uh, to take that out of your mind. It creates a sense of anxiety. There's a lot of chaos going around you. There's a lot of people, noise. The room is not even big enough to hold so many people. And yet we manage to produce great outcomes and save lives. Finally, it doesn't reflect the human anatomy, such as the patient's age and the comorbidities, which are the different conditions of patients. The implications for the theory, acquiring of skills has informed by the motor learning theory on the importance of hands-on practice. Repetition was our core finding uh, because it helps the development of the muscle memory and the precision of doing these techniques and reinforces the reinforcement of the neural pathways. The role play and the co simulations implement team-based learning, which improve outcomes, improving teamwork, and enhance clinical judgment. We also have to address the fact that the replication of real-time pressure and an emergency and the exposure of emotional stress and anxiety during this process. The second implication to theory is the theory of you taught. the ability for repeating practice, the ability that a learner has to practice independently anywhere, anytime, appreciating the peer interaction and the presence of the instructor. For the most part, the equipment was very easy to use with occasional um, inconvenience or challenges and exceptions. Faulty sensors, malfunctioning mannequin, increase troubleshooting demand on the trainer, challenges with connectivity, inconsistent with performing, and of course, the one important one is this the disruption of hands-on practice continues. So the implication for the practice, the need to enhance simulation features. We were able to identify that the mannequin features could include enhancing and presenting injuries, more tactile and audible cues, such as when you do compressions, being able to feel how you can potentially break the chest and the sternum, lung over inflation. In addition to that, it will be good to have a variation from adult, child, and seniors, which have different anatomies and conditions and the various morbidities. The instructor presence, when we, it, versus the clinical readiness. Learners found that the importance of the instructor present was helpful because it helped them with the interpretation and performing feedbacks. They made emphasis on complex skills development and they reinforce the meaning of what teamwork is all about. Instructors should emphasize demand for endurance. When it comes to a cold blue and you're doing the scenario, you can do it within 15, 30, even 45 minutes. When the learners go to the real scenario, they need to be aware that this process can take from 45 minutes to several hours. One learner experienced that I've seen 45 minutes to over an hour. They actually um, seen two crash cards on a patient. Crash cards are where the medication is, and usually one card is enough to withstand the emergency. Um, so the mental focus and the physical endurance requirement during this protocol for emergency interventions should be included. The recommendations for research. Um, Currently, the Cold Blue training simulation requires instructors to provide continuous feedback. Learners indicated that they missed the instructor when there was a real Cold Blue. This will be kind of an experimental study where a Cold Blue simulation training session with the instructor observing, but no guidance, an instructor will provide a debrief at the end. And a second group with a trainer, which is what we currently do and provide. The question will be, would the lack of instructor guidance during the emergency simulation improve the learner's confidence during a real code blue? A second recommendation will be that currently in the hospital, RTI training requires night shifts to workers to train by themselves. They have no access to instructor, and sometimes you don't have peers that can share the stage. This will be a qualitative study, and it will entail a comparison of perception of those who completed the classroom independently with those who completed in an instructor-led format with fellow students present. The question would be, how does perceive confidence in the learners who have completed the BLS and ACLS training independently compare to the perceived confidence of the learners who have completed it with instructor-led training? In the conclusion, medical education uses sophisticated technology to offer practitioners the means of developing clinical skills. The technology-based learning platform can foster cognitive and hands-on skills. Opportunity to repeat, which is one of the core findings, which is the process of repetition to develop kinesthetic skills. Technology augmented learning supports motor learning, supported by motor learning theory and the united theory of acceptance and use of technology. The simulation offers ethical and practical means for conducting training, but it does not fully replace human subjects. And finally, a blend approach with the technology and clinical practice with the instructor's presence will be ideal. Final thoughts. I have somebody that allowed me to put this picture here. I had 3 cardiac arrests. I was intubated in 2012, and that's me. That's me in the picture. I survived. The very same people that I actually trained 10 years earlier were actually the ones that performed the ACLS and BLS on me, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And that makes it significant, important, and valuable for me. In 2013, um, there's a picture of me in the newspaper trying to motivate the youth, the next generation, that the medical field potentially can be something of value for them. That's it. Any questions or comments?
Okay, thank you very much, Richard. Your presentation was really informative and well presented. You presented your data well. I'd like to go ahead and offer questions to Dr. Ballard, your committee member, and then open it up to the floor before I ask any questions. So go ahead, Dr. Ballard.
Okay. Richard, you did a fantastic job, and it's just been a really big honor to work with you and learn from you
Thank you.
because, this is all relatively new to me. So, and I'm so glad I didn't know all of that story, and I'm glad you shared that at the end about what happened
Thank
to you in
you.
2012, not once, not twice, but 3 times. So, I do have a few questions, but with this, unlike the preliminary, this is more, we're on the exhale with you after all of these years of going through this. This is just a formality, and we do want to ask questions, but there's really nothing that's intended to probe as deep as we did then. So, I have a few questions. I'm curious, actually. So, what was the greatest challenge that you experienced, maybe red tape or whatever, working with, or gaining access to working with participants who are actively employed with the VA?
Oh my God, the challenge was huge. It took about 3 months. The paperwork and the red carpet, as you said, was extensive.
Yeah.
And with the federal government, you have to speak their language. There is no happy medium. If you miss a dot, you're not going to be approved. Um, thank God for the administrative officer for the education department. Her name was Dorothy. Yes, Dorothy. She was able to kind of guide me. We end up having a meeting with the dean of the school. I think Dr. Olson, you were there. And the process that they were part of it was it was nerve-wracking for me. A lot of anxiety because I have here I feel like I'm an idol, that like I'm losing the opportunity of learning new things of my doctoral process. But the challenge was I cannot even begin to describe it emotionally to me. It was stressful, combined to many other things of my life. And thanks to Dr. Warren, who was my my napkin, I managed I managed to go through. In addition to having that meeting, there was about three or four different documents that needed to be approved by both parties, the
Mhm.
University of Arizona Global Campus and the VA hospital, before they could say, go ahead. How long
Mhm.
did the process take? 3 months. 3 months.
Yeah, and we want to thank Dr. Olson Stewart for facilitating that, and
Yes.
Barb. They worked hard at UIGC to make it happen. So we're very grateful that they were on board and willing to support you in this.
Yes. Thank you for that.
And
Mhm.
that's no easy feat. I know what by proxy more through my life as being a military spouse and veteran spouse. But anyways, then that's not easy to gain access to
Yes,
that population.
your
I don't know.
husband is a veteran from the service.
He is, yeah, 32 years
Well,
Air Force.
well, thank you for
Uh-huh,
his
Oh,
service.
of course.
My spouse is also an Air Force veteran.
Oh, wow. Wow. Thank you.
So he was in the service for 5 years in the Air Force.
All right.
And I do face those challenges too. So I feel you and I know what you go through sometimes.
And you'll remember Dorothy's name forever because she's the one
Oh,
that facilitated forever and ever.
yes.
Okay. Let's see. I have a couple other that was my biggest curiosity. So I have, okay, so you have 30 years plus experience in doing this. You had a vested interest in the topic, and now I know even more about your interest in the topic. But what was the greatest lesson that you learned about yourself through conducting this research? Just about yourself, not so much the study itself.
I'm ashamed to say it, but 30 years of experience have led me to forget about empathy. You go to those processes at the beginning, very concerned about harming other patients, feeling their bones breaking underneath your hand. After 30 years, you don't think about it. If they break, they break, and you move on to the next one. And I think that this research has put me into perspective that every day is a learning process and you must be empathic at 24/7. Put your shoes on somebody, put your place in somebody else's shoes. And that will not only help you on your practice, but it will produce beautiful outcomes when it comes to patient care.
Wow, I get, thank you. That's very interesting. I wouldn't even just that empathy. Yeah, I get,
yeah.
I see. I can see how that you become desensitized almost to what you're doing over and over and over again.
I
Just
think that that happens after maybe the 10th or the 12th year.
Mm.
yeah.
You work, my experience, so I don't have 30 years of experience in one job. I
Mm,
held two full-time jobs for 30 years.
okay.
So when you do it for so long, so many times, and this happens on a daily basis, this is not something that you can say, oh, we'll do this once a month. No.
Mhm.
And my biggest experience in sadness is in 2019, I received a 27-year-old veteran from Iraq. He was our first case of COVID-19.
Oh,
We put the patient on the ventilator. And the first thing that happens is the ventilator disconnects and all the air and everything goes to my face. So I connected it again. Moments later, the patient is critical. And sometimes you forget how critical it is. It was so busy, and we're talking about being desensitized. Yeah, that's it was a machine. We were a factory. And this study has brought back those memories, and it really touches my heart to know that somebody young lost his life, and then we did all the protocols necessary to save him. And my feelings at that moment were not appropriate, my personal feelings. I think I should have been more empathic.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I knew when you said 2019, I thought, oh,
Yeah.
COVID. But yeah, thank you
That
for sharing
was
that.
hard.
Um, and yes, you definitely, I feel your compassion and empathy and passion come through the screen and through your research. So well, I must add, while bracketing and keeping all of that under, I'm not under wraps, that's not the right word, but keeping yourself unbiased and ethical, and you were doing a really good job of being mindful of that. So I just want to commend you. That's not easy, especially
No,
with so much absolute direct access to what, or not access, but to be direct exposure to what you are studying. And so I just wanted to say that was well done. That's a big accomplishment just in itself. So, and
thank
that's
you.
all I have question wise, but I wanted to, if you, I'll turn it over to Dr. Warren or Dr. Olson Stewart.
Okay.
But other than that, I just wanted to congratulate you on a very nice presentation
Thank
and
you.
a very professional PowerPoint and
Thank you.
a wonderful journey, doctoral journey for you.
Oh my
Thank
God, yes.
thank you, Dr. Ballard. Okay, Dr. Olson Stewart, any questions?
I mean, Richard, I just have to ask you the question of like having known you from the first class,
Yes.
like what stands out to you about the course journey, the courses you've taken, the in residences. So before you even got to landing on the topic, which was a whole long process to discern, what stands out to you, and what did you learn about yourself as a student and a scholar and a researcher during that time period, and sort of just what resonates with you about that chunk of time?
Well, Xanax goes a long way. Okay. So the journey was long. What resonates with me and the process and the journey of the different classes and what I've learned from this is that being resilient is not a bad thing. Falling down is not a bad thing. You stand up and you move again. Looking for inspiration on other people is not a bad thing. Being able to admit that you're wrong is not a bad thing. But what resonates with me the most, and it was the most challenging, was the return of the paperwork. To be honest with you, you work hard on writing a particular subject, and they return it back and forth. Thanks to Dr. Warren, she was able to slap me several times over, which I appreciate her. I'm afraid of her.
Don't
Uh,
scare off everybody else, Richard.
but thanks to her tenacity, I've learned to appreciate constructive feedback. It is not about me that you're talking about. It's about me being able to achieve a goal that stands out from the rest. So that is my learning lesson with my process of the doctoral.
Mhm.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. And thanks for inviting me. I really, really appreciate
So
it. But I'll
glad
turn
you
it back to
came.
you, Dr. Warren.
Yeah, so so this kind of fits with one of the things that Dr. Ballard asked about your bias, and I want to talk to you about when you and I first met.
Oh,
And I'm kind of going here as I think about other students watching this.
mhm.
And when we first met, you came through with a study, a topic that was all about the technology malfunctioning.
Correct.
Do you remember that? And that was kind of where you were really focused on, and you wanted to show that this technology was a mess and that students were frustrated. And so I guess I want to ask you, how did you how did you start to how were you able to open yourself up to the possibility that
Oh, but oh,
that the data was, more or maybe different than what you were expecting to find?
well, first, I'm gonna have to respond a little bit, enhance a little bit of Dr. Olson's statement. My journey started with technology. Unfortunately, I was dropped out by a previous doctor, and it required me to change to another doctor. And that was extremely challenging. Emotionally, it's
Yeah.
the University of
Parents.
the global campus was so supportive of me.
Mm.
And I had the opportunity of having you to come on board with my doctoral process. At the beginning, when we connected for the research, I did have doubts that I was going to get enough participants to participate on this research. And more so, being able to do a triangulation with instructors to eliminate um, my years of experience and personal biases. Strengthens the clarity of the research. So when you put all those elements together with somebody that you can actually connect and talk, because having a doctoral mentor is not about literature. It's about connecting and being honest with each other and open about it. From the very beginning, Dr. Warren was able to express what she expected of me. And through the process, I learned to deliver her expectations. In my part, all my expectations of Dr. Warren, in this case, were completely blown out of the water. She surpassed every single aspect of what I could achieve. And she was the biggest source and motivator for me to transition from my master's degree to my doctoral degree. So she is one of the reasons why I'm here today. In addition to my mom, 90 years old, that I take care of. And of course, my partner, has been with me. We've been together for 28 years. So does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, we're gonna jump aside here. Let me stop sharing.
Okay.
And I'm going to go to a room with Dr. Ballard. Hold on.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Nailed it.
My God, I was hoping that you were here. Don't ask me why. I wanted you to be in this presentation so badly.
I wouldn't have missed it. I was so glad that it worked out timing wise. So, I mean, to see your name come on my calendar, I was like, yes, Richard, you're doing it.
I,
Are you doing graduation?
yes, I wanted to go in person.
Okay, so will you be there in May then?
Yes, I'll be there May 30th and the 31st. I would love
Okay,
to meet you all.
I'll be there. Yeah, I will be there.
Yes.
Yes.
This is a milestone for me, and
Yes.
probably it'll be my husband and myself
Oh, good.
going. And I cannot tell you. this has been one of the most emotional journeys I've ever had in my life.
Of course. Of
And I
course.
thank you so much for the opportunity of meeting you now. And when we did the training, um the previous, what is it,
In residence?
in residence,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yep. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Well, Dr. Ballard and I have conferred, and we would like to thank you, Dr. Sanchez,
Oh my
for
God.
your presentation and your final oral defense. You have
Oh
passed.
my God. Oh, thank you so
Yay!
much. Oh,
Congratulations.
thank you. Oh my God.
Congratulations. 1,000 congratulations. Well
Thank
done.
you so much.
Very
You
well
are so
done.
inspiring. You are,
I
you
have
were,
this whole school behind me with Dr. Olson Stewart, Dr. Ballard, just all UAGC is so supportive of our students. And
I really appreciate that. And the fact that the attention, I did pay attention to the sign of cultural diversity with when it comes to engaging with everybody else. I think it's important that the support of the school, the way it was done to me, is projected to everybody else. I think it's not only an honor to have been a student of the University of Arizona, but more so interacting with this wonderful group of wisdom and knowledge. So I really thank each of you for everything that you've done for me. I cannot express my happiness and joy. And I only have one wish, if I may ask, that I wish to see all of you on the graduation so I can walk in there and meet you in person.
well, and Dr. OS says, I was just going to mention, I will be there for this graduation.
Yes.
So I'm going
I'll
to be
be
reaching
at the
out to
hooding.
you. You will too?
Just the hooding. Well, the hooding, 'cause I'm there as mom,
The
but I
hoodie
am going to be
ceremony.
at the
Yeah,
hooding for sure. So
Oh,
great.
oh my God. So
The
Let's
we'll
hoodie
take a
see.
ceremony.
picture. Let's take a picture all together. So after
definitely.
Richard, hang around. So after the hooding ceremony, so that we can take some nice pictures together.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Let's
Thank you.
do that.
Yes.
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 Wait, I'm
Awesome.
gonna
Thank you.
take pictures. I'm gonna just take one more of all of us here with that big smile on Dr. Sanchez's face.
Thank
Here
you.
we go. Okay.
Thank,
And
thank you.
yes. So, yeah, so, Dr. OS, I'll be reaching out to
Okay,
you.
good.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm excited.
Yeah, me
Yeah,
too.
Okay,
congratulations.
well, Richard, I hope that you just literally spend the evening, other than after you follow the instructions that Dr. Warren's going to give you. But
I don't know.
celebrate tonight. Celebrate.
Yes,
Yeah.
I am gonna go out. What? Well, this is for your information. My husband and my mom don't know I'm doing this today.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So I'm gonna walk downstairs and let them know what just happened.
Record
That's so
that,
funny.
Richard.
Yeah,
Record it.
please.
Yep, I know.
So good.
Okay. All right, you guys.
All right.
Thank
So,
you so
well,
much.
thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
See you
Thank you.
next month. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Thank you. See you next
See you
month. See
all in a
you.
month.
Or the month after that, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, everybody. Bye, hey, Richard. Well done, dude. You did it.
Oh my God. Did you like it?
You did great. Yes, you
Oh my
did
God. I was
fantastic.
so nervous.
You did found you wouldn't know. You did great. Yeah. And I'll send
Wow.
you the recording so you'll get to
Okay.
see yourself. Yeah. And you
Thank
can
you.
share with Ricky and your mom if you want to.
I know. Now they can see it.
Or fast forward to the end where we say, you passed.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Well done.
So what do I do now?
Okay. So hang on, let me just I want to save this picture again here. Richard Defense 3. So now you're gonna get you have to upload your final oral defense to DSEM.
Where is that the PowerPoint presentation?
Yes, your
Okay.
PowerPoint. And then you will and then they'll reach out to you. It's gonna go, I think you also upload your final manuscript.
I
It-
have to speak to Dr. Lu because
okay,
she's going to give me a certificate, and then
right,
I
yeah.
try to
Oh,
investigate it, and it says an evaluation of the oral presentation. Is there a form that I need to present?
no, you just upload it.
I'll just upload the
Yeah,
PowerPoint
in
presentation.
DSM, there's a final oral defense
Okay.
form.
All right.
Now, I have to run the Turnitin for you for this final manuscript.
Okay.
And is there anything else that Dr. Lu needs to do with it?
I think she said that she needed to complete the references.
Okay,
I
so
think that was it.
okay, so
But other than that, there's
check with your advisor and say, I've uploaded my final order of defense, but there's a couple more things with the that you're doing with the editor before you upload your final manuscript.
okay.
Okay, who's
I'll
your
let
advisor? It's Sifo
Sifo, yeah.
people.
Yeah,
So
he's been connected to me almost every week.
isn't he amazing?
Oh my God, yes. He's so excited of
Um,
me because he knows the challenges that we
yeah,
went through and everything. And
yeah,
he's like, finally you made it.
yeah.
And
Well, okay, so then what I'll do is well, go ahead and just contact Sifo, let him know that you still have a few more things to do on your manuscript before you submit it. And then what happens then is once you submit your final oral defense, then you are able to graduate, to go through graduation.
right. So I'm
Okay.
gonna submit the PowerPoint tonight.
Yeah.
And um do you want to run the manuscript? Do I contact Dr. Lu to see if she needs to do anything? I don't know.
I think I'm just going to run the Turnitin. It'll be exactly the same now as it will be later.
All right.
So I'm just going to run it and then I'll send that to you and then you'll have to submit that along with your certificate from Dr.
Oh,
Lu.
APA certificate of Dr.
And
Lu.
then your final manuscript, and that'll all
Yes.
get bundled when you submit
Yes.
all that, okay?
Okay, so what about the okay, so all that needs to be done today?
No, no, you're not, you have to talk to Dr. Lu to get that final manuscript out.
Correct. Yeah.
So let Sifo know that the editor still has it right now,
Okay.
so it's not ready to be submitted,
Okay.
okay?
I'll talk to him.
All right.
All right.
And then, yeah, and then he'll be working with you and then it'll go to Dr. Stubbs and she'll read it and probably have some things for you to tweak or update to
Mhm.
make it publishable.
Okay.
And then yeah, and then you just go through all that. And then when you submit it to ProQuest, one
Mhm.
tip is to say, yes, I want it available to everybody, and you pay a little bit more, it's an extra $50 or something.
Okay.
It's free for anybody to download, and that just makes it easier for people to cite and
Mhm.
access and make use of, rather than royalties. You don't need royalties. So,
No.
okay,
Okay. Well, thank you so much for everything.
you are welcome.
So are we meeting next
Pardon.
Tuesday?
Yeah, what next
Oh,
Tuesday?
huh? Next Tuesday to
Next
finalize all the
Tuesday for
process?
champagne.
Yes. Yeah.
So I will be there, just like Dr. Ballard says, I'll be there for the hooding ceremony. I probably won't be there for the graduation because it just goes on and on and on and
So
on.
I wanted to ask you, what is the difference between the holding ceremony and the ceremony?
The hooding ceremony is just for doctoral students. And you have your own, we have our own room and the doctoral faculty are all there. And I put that scarf that you have,
Yes.
I put that on you.
Oh,
And then we'd get a picture. And so, your family's there. It's
do you,
intimate. It's much
do
more
you have a
intimate.
date for that one? Is it
It's
the
the,
30th?
it's the Saturday before, and then Sunday's the actual graduation.
Do I have to be there? Well, I'll be,
Yes. You
Okay.
have to be there for the hooding ceremony. Yes. So
No, I'm gonna be, that's what I'm saying, the 29th, I need to leave here the 29th. So I can be on the hooding on the 30th. So I have to be in Arizona. Is
yes,
that Glendale, Arizona?
I don't know what the details. I have to ask Kelly, but the hooding ceremony is probably going to be, I think it's in the
Afternoon,
afternoon, in the afternoon.
yes.
But yeah, probably with your mom and Ricky, you'll want to be there Friday night so everybody gets a good night's
Yes,
rest.
correct, yeah.
Okay.
All right, okay, thank you so much for everything. And then I will contact Dr. Lu and let her know.
Yeah.
I will include you in the email
Okay.
and Sifo also, so that he knows
Yeah.
that I
Yeah.
passed. That way we move
Yes.
on. Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you for everything.
Well done. And congratulations, Dr. Sanchez.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Good.
Orr. From you, I only want Richard.
Love it.
Thank, thank you so
Okay.
much. Okay.
All right. We'll see you,
Bye-bye.
Richard. Bye.